Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् Hरि Om, salutations to all. So we saw in this 11th chapter the Vishwarup Darshan. Bhagwan gave the divine vision to Arjun, and Sanjay describes first what is the vision that Arjun had. What was the Vishwarup that he saw? And so we had seen from the Sanjay Uvacha 9th verse onwards, Sanjay describes that Bhagwan showed the Vishwarup, and there he saw many hands and legs and faces and divine beings with divine ornaments and all that he saw. And 12th verse we see, he gives an analogy. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yugapad Utthita. Simultaneously, Yugapat, if thousands of suns arise, S-U-N, they arise, what would be that light, that brilliance? Yadibha Sadrishi Sasya, if we compare, Bhasas Tasya Mahatmanaha, that was the effulgence of this glorious form. See, hundreds and thousands of stars put together, small twinkling stars, can't match the light of one moon. Thousands of moons put together can't match the light of one sun. Thousands of suns put together can't actually match the glory of this Vishwarupa. This is just an analogy given to us to visualize that what would be the glory of that form. Because the sun's light is a physical light. It is material. It is gross, tangible. The light of consciousness is intangible. It is not physical. It is subtle. Subtlest actually it is. It does not have properties like the light of the sun. And the light of the sun is dependent on light of consciousness. Consciousness is independent of that. In the 15th chapter, Bhagavan will anyway say, Natad bhasayate suryaha nashashanko na pavakaha. That state is not illumined by the sun or the moon or the fire. So even though it says Yadibha Sadrishi Sa Syat, but that Yadi is important there. If, meaning if you compare the light of 1,000 suns rising at the same time, possibility is it may match, it may be equal to Sadrishi. So here he says this equal to does not mean, Sadrishi does not mean it is equal to. It is for us to just understand. It's a comparison that is given. That it was not that Arjun is seeing only some forms. All forms are actually appearances of the formless absolute truth. And the effulgence of this form. So basically he's seeing the Lord's true nature as awareness which is appearing in thousands of forms. And hence he says here, this analogy he gives, Sanjay gives actually this analogy, that this is what it could be. For us to imagine, he gives, Sanjay is actually seeing that Vishwarupa. But he is reporting what Arjun would have experienced. And so, Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhave Yugapad Utthita Yadi Bhasadrishi Sasyat Bhasastasya Mahatmanaha. That great Mahatmanaha, that supreme consciousness. In one way to understand this also is what people say today in quantum physics, that matter and energy, both the common ground of that is consciousness, and that is light. It's a field. It's an infinite field of light. And everything else is only an appearance from there. Arjun would have seen this whole thing in that one, like it is said here. Next shloka also says, even earlier shloka, it said, Ihaikastham Jagat Kritsam. That was said in this 7th shloka earlier. Now again in the 13th one it comes. Tatraikastham Jagat Kritsam Pravibhaktam Anekadha Apashyad Deva Devasya Sharire Pandavastada. Tatra Ekastham. In that one form of Sri Krishna, as though he saw Jagat Kritsam, the entire universe, Pravibhaktam Anekadha, but appearing in so many forms. Apashyat, Arjun saw, Deva Devasya, he is the Lord of all lords, Krishna Bhagavan. Sharire Pandavastada. Pandava means Arjun here. So Pandava, Pandu means white, Pandu means Dhavalaha, pure. So one whose mind is purified can behold this form. And earlier we saw the divine vision is single pointedness of the mind, which also we should understand with that is the purity. Only single pointedness is not enough. Purity of mind is required. Both these, so Pandu means both. Pandu indicates both these qualities. And hence, Arjun saw in the form. Now one may say how that is all possible. In one form he saw the whole universe. That is the beauty of infinity. Nothing is impossible for infinity. Krishna Bhagavan, forget in one form. Inside his mouth he showed Yashoda Devi the entire Vishwarupa. Inside is only one mouth. Arjun is seeing in a whole limb. What is not possible for Bhagavan? You and I, with our limited buddhi, we start rationalizing, yeah, how is that possible? What is not possible? If Bhagavan decides to show in one's grain of sand, he can show the entire universe. What to talk of the mouth and then the whole body? Everything anyway is appearance of the divine only. And so Arjun, he sees so beautiful. Tatraikastham Jagat Kritsnam, Ekastham, in that very form. Now again, we should not imagine Arjun is standing separate, Bhagavan is standing, and inside the frame of his, he is seeing everything. That is the context. And last time somebody had asked the question that when Arjun is seeing this Vishwarupa, what are others doing? So one aspect is when Arjuna is seeing the Vishwarupa, all of them are a part of that Vishwarupa only. So Arjuna is seeing them standing, etc. They are beholding Arjun and Krishna Bhagwan in the middle of the battlefield. That's all, because they don't have divine vision. It's not that they are doing something separately and then Arjun is doing something separately. Arjun is seeing this whole thing, including himself. Like Yashoda Maya also saw. Remember, Yashoda Maya didn't see only the, some like they show in the serials, etc. Various planets and stars and galaxies and all that. She actually saw even herself with Krishna Bhagwan there inside that. Same way, Arjun sees himself as a part of the Vishwarupa. Yes, at that point in time, for him, everything is inclusive. So, from his standpoint, there's nobody excluded. In fact, he's seeing not only now, past, present, future, everything he sees one place. So, he is himself also a part of it. But if somebody says that what are others doing, they are only watching Krishna and Arjun standing there. Gita, the way it is given, it is not that is the way in which it is happening in the battlefield. This is written in this form by Vedavyasji, compiled by Vedavyasji. So we say Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina. That would have happened very fast. Because to chant this, it will take 3 hours. And where in the battlefield it is going to come Dhritarashtra Uvacha and Sanjaya Uvacha and all that. That is written for us to understand. That would have happened very fast. Bhagwan would have shown him the Vishwarupa. He would have got stunned, and in that moment, his intellect would have been benumbed. He saw everything, and this whole boundary of space and time, everything goes. So he's seeing past, present, future, everything in one place. So that is what is happening. So tatraikastham jagat kristam pravibhaktam anekadha. In one, he's seeing many. Ekastham anekadha. Also, it means that one only has become many. It's not different things. Apashyat Deva Devasya. Krishna Bhagavan is called here as the Lord of all Lords. Deva Devasya. Because Dev literally means to illumine. And the Devatas derive their strength from the Lord. The Lord is the real source of all illumination. And so, he is called as Deva Devasya. Also, it means that Arjun not only saw this physical world, but he saw the Swarga also and Antariksha also. So, Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. That anyway will come again. Earlier also it was said Divya Aneko Dyata Yudham and Divya Malyam Baradharam, Divya Gandhanu Lepanam, all that was said. Here it is more explicit. Apashya Deva Devasya. So he sees all the three. Bhuhu, earth, Bhuvaha, interspace, Suvaha. And as we go along, you will see he sees everything. 7 worlds up, 7 worlds down. That is one Brahmanda, like that. So many Brahmandas. All that he's seeing in this Vishwarupa. So Apashya Deva Devasya Sharire Pandavas Tada. And then what is his response? The response of Arjun is, this is the next shloka is about his feeling. Tata Savismaya Vishtaha Hrishtaro Dhananjayaha Pranamya Shirasa Devam Kritanjalira Bhashata. Tata, so thus, meaning having seen all this, Arjun description has not yet started. This is Sanjay describing what Arjun saw and now what he felt. Vismaya Vishtaha. He is, Vismaya. So earlier also we saw this, that his Smaya is gone. Smaya means some pride, I am a great archer, I am a great warrior, or I am one of the Pandavas, we are very righteous, whatever, some feeling that one may have about oneself, one's individuality. Vismaya means gone. Vigata smaya. That limitedness, because suddenly one is seeing the cosmic being. So in that vision of that totality, the little individuality just disappears. That's why it says Tataha Savismaya Vishtaha. He was filled with wonder. Literal meaning of Vismaya is wonder, but here, if we go by little etymology, then it means Tata Savismaya Avishta. Avishta means overpowered by. So when Avesha happens, one loses one's, uh, one forgets oneself basically, and then that emotion will overpower. Like we say, Krodha Avesha. One becomes so angry, then one loses control over oneself. One says anything, does anything, becomes violent also. Krodhavesh, Kamavesh, lusty person becomes. Then one doesn't see who is in front, what is the behavior. So, Pretavesh, like that, some Preta overpowers some being. Here is Vismayavishtaha, Tatasa Vismayavishtaha. His mind is overpowered as though by this great sense of wonder. My God, what is this? And in that he has forgotten himself. Tatasa Vismayavishtaha. And Hrishta Roma Dhananjayaha. There is horripilation on his body. Hair is standing on its end looking at this thing, because this is not seen ever. And for him also, it is a new experience. Completely, this is actually called uh, mind blowing. Is this? Mind is literally blown, actually blown. Suddenly, no individuality, mind gone. What is this? It's like that. Rishta Roma Dhananjaya. So hair is standing on the end. Wonder is there in his mind, in his heart. Pranamya Shirasa Devam. And out of that, he has great reverence and respect for Bhagavan. So he prostrates. And with his hands, folded in great uh, feeling of gratitude. Ritanjalir Abhashata. So he bows down, folded hands, has done prostration to Bhagavan, has lot of gratitude, wonder, surrender. So physically prostrated, folded hands, hair is standing on his end, on its end. Emotionally, lot of gratitude. Intellectually, a sense of wonder, and spiritually, no individuality. So Arjun, this is the state of Arjun. Sanjay describes that having seen this Vishwarupa, this is what happened to him. Now, Arjun starts describing actually what he saw. So that is from 15th verse. This is what has to happen. See, actually, if somebody says, Swamiji, Arjun was very fortunate, he saw the Vishwarupa. And then he felt this, and, he felt gratitude and surrender and all that. Now, we are not so lucky. Who will show us Vishwarupa? Where is Krishna in our life? As we saw earlier sessions also, actually, Vishwarupa only is truth. Individuality is a myth. It does not exist. So every moment what we are seeing is actually Vishwarupa only. But we are having boundaries and limitations of our senses. So we feel I am an individual. That individuality is very strong. And then colored by that perception of attachment, aversions, we view things holding on to this individuality. Otherwise, what prevents us from admiring any aspect of this creation? We saw that in Vibhuti Yoga also. Just one aspect of the creation, like I am the mountains, among the mountains I am Himalayas. Now just Himalaya is enough to make our mind appreciate the glory of the divine and surrender. So in the last chapter, 1111 Vibhuti itself is great to bring about surrender. In this chapter, everything is in one place, Arjun is seeing. And if we want that, at this this feeling that Arjun has, Rishta Roma, and Kritanjali and this Pranamya Shirasa, then we have to only observe what is there around us and see how much wonder is there in life, because everything is divine. Somebody said, I don't know, people quote give uh, credits to Einstein for this quote. I don't know whether Einstein actually said it or somebody else said it, but they always say, there are two ways to look at life. One way to look at life is as though everything is a wonder. And the other way to look at life is as though nothing is a wonder. हाँ ठीक है, ये तो ordinary है, उसमें क्या है? I was seeing that, somebody asked Sean Pollock, South African bowler. He is now commentator. So they asked about Surya Kumar Yadav's catch in the T20 final. It was a catch. Arey, that catch won us the match. What a catch it was. One can be like that. Oh, it's okay. ठीक है, okay. Sunrise, oh, very good. Mountain, nice, ठीक है. Creation, oh, nice creation. Good, okay, fine. I live life so boring. Or one can live with such wonder कि everywhere you see what it's magic actually happening. We want to pay and go and see some big magic show. That is actually expertise and what they call, I don't know in English what they call. Otherwise, we say in Hindi, hath ka kamal. They do. They are experts in and their speed and certain way of hiding and concealing and shifting your attention and all that, which is actually not happening, but it appears to be happening. Here, this is really magic happening. How the sun rises, how the seed sprouts, how the birds fly, everything is so much of wonder in this. One may find some reasoning, some scientific explanation is all right, but if we look all around, Vishwarupa is appearing every single moment. There's so much to be having this type of feeling of gratitude, of devotion, of surrender, of wonder, of amazement is so brilliant. So we should not feel कि Arjun को मिला हमको कहाँ मिलेगा. If we have that sincerity of Arjun, we will also get. We have that single pointedness, purity, we can also have darshan. We will see Vishwarup actually happening right here and now. Plus, if that intense desire is there, Bhagavan will fulfill somewhere, somehow. That is up to the Lord and His grace. One will get Vishwarup darshan also. So, now let us see what Arjun feels. So now Arjun says, Arjuna uvacha pashyami devanstava deva dehe sarvanstatha bhuta vishesha sanghan brahmanamisham kamalasanastham rishinscha sarvan uraganscha divyan. So Arjun also repeats one thing. So this will look like a repetition to us, but actually it is two different people narrating the same thing. First Sanjay narrated, now Arjun narrates. So some part will be repetition, rest will be different. So Pashyami Devans Tava Deva Dehe. That in your body, I see so many Devatas. Pashyami Devan. Tava Deva Dehe. O Deva, in your body, I see many divine beings. See, generally, physical eyes, you can't see the Devatas. But because Arjun has this Divya Chakshu, he is able to see. He says Pashyami, means confirmed, because till then he was not able to see. Na? Bhagavan said Pashya, 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 if you remember. 3 times he said already. Pashya, Pashya, Pashya. Arjun can't see. Then he said, okay, I give you, the divine vision. And then when the divine vision was given, what Arjun saw is reported by Sanjay. So Arjun's description now begins with his confirmation, saying Pashyami. Okay, now I see. Those videos are so nice. If you actually see this, some of these videos, where small children, it could be anybody, but the small children, very cute. A small child, it does not have some has some hearing problem, so is not able to listen properly. And then that hearing aid is given, and You should see the face of that small child. Suddenly, this child is listening to the sounds and everything. The expression is so cute, so lovely. Same way, somebody who does not have, has not seen, has not had the vision, the eyes, the power of seeing in the eyes, and then that surgery happens or whatever, intervention is done, and now this person's whatever that things are removed and they see the world. How they behold, it is like such a amazement and wonder. That way, Arjun says, now I see. Pashyami. And what is he seeing? Straight away, he's seeing divine beings. Pashyami devans tava deva dehe. In your body, I am seeing divine beings, the devatas. Sarvan, meaning not only devatas, I am seeing all, Yaksha, Gandharva, Kinnara, Apsara, so many. Then all the other beings also. Sarvans Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan. All the different types of beings and certain specific groups also. Sangha means group. Bhuta Vishesha Sangha. So specific classifications. So these are the classifications, the different ways in which the creatures are classified. Sometimes it is classified as 4 types of creatures. Born out of sweat, Svedaja, born out of this Andaja, egg, then Jarayuja, born of the womb, and then Udbhija, born of earth. So basically plants, birds, animals, aquatic creatures, everything, human beings, all specific groups. So he's seeing all the beings. So Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan. Then what is he seeing? He's seeing Brahmaji also. Brahmanam. Brahmanam here means Chaturmukha Brahmaji, who is a creator. Then Isham is Shivji. And Kamala Sanastham is Vishnu Bhagwan. So we have to go in the reverse way actually. So Brahmanam Kamalasanastham Isham. So one meaning is that Brahmanam Isham Kamalasanastham. So Brahmaji, who is the creator, who is seated on the lotus. That is one meaning. So he saw from the navel of Vishnu Bhagwan as though this lotus has come out, on that Brahmaji is sitting. And he is the creator. So one meaning is Brahmanam Isham Kamalasanastham. Second meaning is this Brahmanam means Brahmaji. Isha means Shivji. Kamalasanastham means Vishnu Bhagwan. Why Kamalasanastham is Vishnu Bhagwan? So there Vishnu Bhagwan's Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, Rupa is there standing on the lotus. That time, so that is not the form where he is lying on the Ananta Shesha. Standing form with Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma on the lotus, so that Kamalasanastham. So basically he saw for every creation, every universe, let us say, there is Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Like that, so many universes are there. So Bhagwan is housing in his body thousands of universes and each of them Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So that's what he's seeing. So Brahmanam, Isham, Kamalasanastham. Then Rishinscha Sarve, Sarvan. So many rishis, like the Sapta Rishis, Vasishta, Vishwamitra, Jamadagni, a lot of them. Rishinscha Sarvan, Uraganscha Divyan, and divine snakes like Anantanaga or Vasuki, divine snakes. So he sees, basically he sees all the different types of beings in that form. Then अनेकबाहूदरवक्त्रनेत्रं पश्यामि त्वां सर्वतोऽनन्तरूपं नान्तं न मध्यं न पुनस्तवादिं पश्यामि विश्वेश्वर विश्वरूप. So he says, Aneka Bahu, many hands, Udara, bellies, uh, Aneka Bahu Udara, Vaktra, faces, Netram, eyes, so many faces, eyes, bellies, hands, legs, meaning his mind is mind boggling for him that, oh, so many in one place he's seeing all this. Pashyami tvam sarvato ananta rupam. You are infinite. Wherever I see it is only you. So all the forms though he sees them as divine appearance of the one truth only. So basically he's not only seeing physical forms, he's seeing subtle forms also, plus he's seeing the source behind all of them. And that's why he's able to say ananta rupam. Otherwise form will have its limitation. Any face, any head, any limb will have its own limitation. But he's saying Ananta Rupam, meaning all these forms belong to you only. So that's the mystic vision that he has. Aneka Bahudara Vaktra Netram Pashyamitvam Sarvato Ananta Rupam Nantam na Madhyam na Punastavadim. There is no beginning, there is no middle, there is no end, meaning there is no time. It is timeless, eternal truth. Ananta Rupam means no space. And no antam, no madhyam, no punastavadi means there is no time. See, all this is described with language, described in that in a way in which you and I can understand and we may try to imagine. But what is that experience is only what that person experiences. Arjun only knows what it is. Because we see continuously things only through space, in space and time. Now space is not there, time is not there, everything is appearing as one and yet it is appearing in so many forms. So nantam na madhyam na punastavadim. Pashyami, I am able to see. So Bhagavan said 3 times Pashyami. Here Arjun repeats twice saying yes, I see, I see. So double confirmation means that is real. Otherwise one may say I see but then suddenly disappear. Then one wonders, did I actually see? So earlier he said Pashyami once, now again Pashyami. Now two beautiful words. Vishweshwara, Vishwarupa. That you are the Lord of the universe and you are all the forms also. See, for a jiva, it is opposite. In the sense, the body is jada vastu, it is inert, and consciousness is the master of that. We are identified as of now with the body, mind, intellect. So we don't know our nature as consciousness, though our true self is consciousness. So that consciousness enlivens the BMI, and we are identified with BMI. So they are two different things, inert thing and that which is the enlivener of that which is consciousness. Vishweshwara and Vishwarupa. So Vishwarupa means all the forms are of Bhagavan only. It means they are not jada by themselves. Because it is the forms of the Lord. From a higher state, they are appearances of consciousness only. So they are not jada vastu. And the Lord of these forms also is the Lord only. So consciousness only is the master, consciousness only is the form. There is no distinction. Vishweshwara, Vishwarupa. Even our body, if you see, from one standpoint, we say this is Jadavastu only so that we can do a segregation or a distinction between inert and sentient. Otherwise, we think body is sentient by itself. And so we have forgotten that there is something called consciousness and that is my nature. We think body can see, hear, taste, smell, touch on its own. But the seeker in Kenopanishad asked that question, that what is it that because of which this body is functioning, mind is functioning, prana is functioning. So he had understood that no, there is another factor which is enlivening this. So he wants to know what is that factor. Chakshu Shrotram Kau Devo Yunakti. Which Deva, meaning what is that illumining factor which illuminates Chakshu Shrotram, the eyes and the ears? Before that, mind and prana, all that was already said in the shloka. So, in the mantra. So, the factors which enliven the BMI to make us aware that, okay, BMI is separate and consciousness is separate because we have forgotten. But if we go at a higher level or a advanced level in Vedant, then there is no Jad Vastu at all because everything is appearance of consciousness. Form also is consciousness only. Why? Because what is the source? The source only will manifest, the cause only will manifest as the effect. Cause is consciousness, from there comes Maya, from there comes five elements, from five elements come this body. So, if consciousness is the cause, then all this is also consciousness only actually. But today we don't have that vision. And so the separation has to be done first. No, this is inert, that is sentient. But this is at a deeper level, Vishwarupa and Vishweshwara. It means form also is consciousness. The truth which is enlivening it also is consciousness only. And he's seeing both. But that's the vision. That's the, we can say Jnana Chakshu also, and this specific Vishwarup Darshan that Bhagavan is showing him also. That he sees everyone and everything as divine in this vision. And he doesn't see the difference then. And so Vishweshwara Vishwarupa. This is his experience. Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrinam Cha Tejo Rashim Sarvato Diptimantam Pashyami Tvam Durniriksham Samantat Diptanalarkadyutim Aprameyam. Now, what does he see further? So he says here, Anek Kiritinam. Kiriti, so one who has the crown, and Kiriti means that crown which has, special gems and precious diamonds and stones and all that which is studded. So now he is seeing Bhagwan in a specific form also, not only as infinite consciousness and for all these different forms and all the devatas and all the groups, and then Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, that all he saw. So now also we should remember when they say Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, he saw Brahmanam, Isham, Kamala, Sanastham. Then it also means that he saw the lokas. So Brahma Loka, Vaikuntha Loka, Kailas. He saw the abodes and where Bhagwan resides in these forms. He already saw the abode of Devatas, that is heaven, and that's where he sees the Devatas also. So then, and on the earth also, different types of beings. So he sees everything in that. Now in this, he sees specifically this particular form, Kiriti, where he is wearing a crown studded with all precious diamonds. Gadinam, he is having a gada. Then Chakrinam cha, he is having this Sudarshan Chakra. Tejo Rashim Sarvato Diptimantam, and it is full of light. We should remember this form is Vishnu Bhagwan's form. Specific form of Vishnu Bhagwan he is seeing here. Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrinam. So, Bhagwan has Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma. So, Shankha and Padma are implied by that alphabet Cha. Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrinam Cha. So, he saw Vishnu Bhagwan specifically, the divine darshan he has in that Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, Rupa. Earlier we saw that Kamalasana means this particular form, but here is more clearly described. Like how it was described about Brahmaji there, this more clear description of Vishnu Bhagwan here. Kiritinam, Gadinam, Chakrinam Cha. And that form is full of light and effulgence. Tejo Rashim. Sarvato Dipti Mantam. And the effulgence of that form is spreading everywhere. It's not just limited to that form. You see, our aura is limited to only certain area around us. Bhagwan's nature is infinity, light. Tejo Rashim Sarvato Dipti Mantam. It is illumining everything all around. He is a mass of brilliant effulgent light. Tejo Rashim Sarvato Diptimantam Pashyamitvam Durniriksham Samantat. And is very difficult to see. Pashyami, again he says Pashyami. You see, three verses continuously Pashyami, Pashyami, Pashyami. So Pashyamitvam, I see you in this effulgent form. Durniriksham is very difficult to behold because so much light. Just imagine, thousands of suns, that analogy was given. Now, one sun only you and I can't see. Thousands of light, and the Arjuna is seeing. He says, Durniriksham, very difficult to behold this, as well as most wondrous sight. Durniriksham Samantat, shining, blazing everywhere, all around. Deeptan alarka dyutim. Deepta, Anala, and Arka. So Deepta is like a flame of a lamp. Anala is fire. It may not be lamp only, it may be some bigger form of fire. And then Arka is the sun. Each of these, one is greater than the other, but this, the form of Bhagavan transcends all this. Apramayam, it is immeasurable light. So Kiritinam, Gadinam, Chakrinam cha. So he sees this unique form as well as that form which is most effulgent, brilliant, spreading light everywhere. So it may also be that he is seeing not only all these forms, what he expressed earlier, Devatas and all of them, and then Brahmaji, Vishnu Bhagavan, Shivji, all of them, and then suddenly all of them disappear, and maybe Vishnu Bhagavan's form appears, and that is very dazzling form of light. So he may be describing different aspects, and obviously in one shloka, how can he describe the whole Vishwarupa? So different aspects as he's seeing, he must be describing that. So that's how this description comes here. Bhagavan being effulgence, he was shining everywhere. Now, he praises some qualities now. Beautiful verse, this is again. Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam tvamavyaya shashvata dharma gopta sanatanastvam purusho mato me. See that earlier that word Durniriksham, no? It is not possible to see. That is also indicating the compassion of Bhagavan. And it is because of Bhagavan's grace and compassion and that Bhagavan gave that Divya Chakshu, so Arjuna is able to see. Otherwise, it is not possible to see. And now, what is he seeing? So, along with the form, he is also seeing some of these attributes of the Lord. So, it's not just a physical seeing or a mystical vision, but it is also internally appreciating the glorious qualities of Bhagavan. And it is not intellectual information or some scriptural declaration which Arjuna is parroting, but this is his feeling now. Because of that Divya Chakshu, he is able to even feel this part. That Tvamaksharam, Paramam Veditavyam, that you are that imperishable Aksharam, supreme goal of life which is to be known. Paramam Veditavyam. Veditavya is to be known, meaning you are that imperishable truth which is to be known. It's a very beautiful mantra, if you shloka, if you actually see, because this gives a lot of beautiful pointers, not only about Bhagavan, but to us as seekers. That what is that which is to be known and which is supreme? Paramam and Veditavyam. That is one meaning. That what is the supreme in life? Bhagavan, Aksharam is Paramam. Anything that is Sharam is not Param. Aksharam is Param. So whatever is perishable, I may have to work with it, deal with it, engage with it. That is part of my duty as a jiva. I have come into this world to exhaust certain karma, so I may do that. But having come here as a human being, what is that which I am supposed to know? Veditavyam, what is Aksharam Paramam? You see, this came even in the eighth chapter. Same Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavodhyatmam Uchyate. That time also we said Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Brahma is imperishable, Aksharam, and Brahman is supreme. That is to be known. Veditavyam. Aksharam Paramam Veditavyam. This is Arjun's feeling now. Ki, "Arey, this is what has to be realized. Having been born as a human being, now this is what has to be realized." This he feels intuitively now. It's not some information that he is talking or some scriptural declaration that he is just repeating. Now his feeling is this. This is what has to be known. Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam. Tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam. You are the supreme abode of this entire refuge, of this entire uh, creation. Meaning, as a substratum, you are the support of everything in this creation. What we saw earlier, now he sees everything as light, and then appearance of so many forms is all effulgent and light. One consciousness appearing as so many. That is the base. Tamasya, Vishwasya, Param Nidhanam. See, bhakti approach, if we go by, we can apply this to Vishnu Bhagavan also in this context, because earlier shloka he said him seeing Vishnu Bhagavan through Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. So one can apply this even to that. So the connection one can even make like that. That who is that which is to be known, supreme, is that Supreme Lord Vishnu, who is imperishable in his true nature. Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam. Tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam. You are the substratum, the support of the whole universe. Vishnu Bhagavan is the sustainer. So bhakti standpoint, one can think about it that way. Jnana standpoint, one can think about it as consciousness. This is a beautiful verse to meditate. One can just take it and meditate. Tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam. Oh Bhagavan, you are the support of the whole universe. Everything rests in you. You are the substratum. It rises from you, stays in you, goes back into you. That is one meaning. Other meaning is you are the refuge for the whole universe. How many people and how many jivas take refuge of Bhagavan, though he is actually the refuge of the whole universe? We run behind the world, we get tortured, we get squashed, we get smashed, we get burnt out, everything, and we may seek some psychiatric help, we may go to some shrink, we may go to some friend, we may go to, any friend, relative, family, and pour out and vent out and all that. But refuge of Bhagavan, how many will take? That Bhagavan, I take your refuge, I surrender unto you. What is the difference between Arjun and other people in that Mahabharat war? Other people in the sense, Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra, they did not take refuge, they did not take surrender. They did not even have the humility to ask, I have a problem, please give me solution. Nothing. Arjun had that. He surrenders to Bhagavan. He says, Shishyasteham, Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam. I take refuge in you, you please instruct me. Bhagavan is the refuge of the whole world. But many people don't take his refuge. The promise of Bhagavan, in the Ramayana it comes very nicely. Bhagavan has given a promise. To Vibhishan he tells in Valmiki Ramayana this comes. Sakrit eva prapannaya ek bar. Sakrit means once. Sakrit eva prapannaya. Whoever has surrendered to me. How? Tava asmi. I am yours, O Bhagavan. Each teacher yachate. One who seeks surrender like this. Saying, Bhagavan, I am yours. What does Bhagavan do? Abhayam sarva bhutebhya dadami. I bless that person with fearlessness from all beings. Etad vratam mama. This is my promise. Just think once only. Bhagavan does not demand too much time. Too many times. Bar bar. Only once he says. How many times did Vibhishan surrender to Bhagwan Ram? Only once. And he became Lankapati. But when he surrendered, only Bhagwan called him Lankesh straight away. And in the Tulsi Ramayana, it comes, Bhagwan takes the Shakti of Ravan on his chest to protect Vibhishan. When he gives a boon, he keeps it. How many times Arjun surrendered to Krishna Bhagwan? Only once. He says, I am your disciple, please teach me. Straight away, Bhagwan starts. How many times did he ask for Vishwarup? Did Bhagwan act very, you know, pricey and demanding and then testing him? हाँ देखते हैं उसको कितना sincerity है. How much sincere is he? Let him ask 3-4 times. If he really wants, then I will show. Nothing. He said, please show. Bhagwan said, Pashya, straight. How many times did Hanumanji have to surrender? Only once. Anybody any jiva who goes and says to Bhagwan, I am yours, wholeheartedly one should surrender saying, I am yours. He is the Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam, supreme refuge. Why is he supreme refuge? Any other refuge is temporary, by itself perishable. How we will take refuge of the perishable? That's why the earlier line, Tamaksharam Paramam Veditavyam. You are Aksharam, imperishable. That imperishable only can be our true refuge. How can anything which is perishable by itself be our true refuge? We may seek help, no doubt. So seek help if somebody needs money, somebody needs knowledge, somebody needs some food, clothes, whatever, appropriate people, we may go and seek. But deep down, first we surrender to Bhagwan, then we go and seek help from anybody, no problem. We forget Bhagwan and then we are running behind the world. We are taking refuge in the world at different points with different people. Then we get disillusioned and then we feel, what is the point? First, our anchoring should be inside. Surrender to Bhagwan. And doesn't mean only for difficult times and difficult things we surrender. Surrender is once and for all done. In good times also it can be done. Surrender to Bhagwan, my individuality. That let thy will be done, not mine. You are the Karta, I am only a Nimitta. And I anchor in you and I do what is your will. So think about it. To whom have I surrendered? Who is my altar of surrender? And what has that surrender done to me? There's a big difference between surrender and subjugation. I may have surrendered to a person and I may do whatever that person is saying without even thinking properly. Sometimes that person may be controlling me, dominating me, and getting things done from me, but I have subjugated there in the name of surrender. Slavery it is actually. For whatever reason, that person's authority one accepts may be more powerful, more wealthy, more qualified, more knowledgeable, or emotionally one has some attachment. So then that is subjugation actually. Surrender makes us free. Surrender makes our potential manifest. Surrender makes us drop the limited. Surrender makes us connect to the truth. See, Hanumanji, when if you see his example, Hanumanji, when he was under um, Sugriv, he was very ordinary. But when he surrendered to Bhagwan Ram, extraordinary things he started doing. That is what surrender will do. Vibhishan, what was he before surrender? What is he after surrender? Arjun, what is he before surrender? What is he after surrender? So even in Vedant, when we say surrender, we surrender to the Guru, not as an individual person only. We surrender to the Lord only, who we see as the Guru. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. So we have surrendered to Bhagwan only. And that's why the only one worthy altar of true surrender is Bhagwan. Tamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam, supreme refuge. Others may help us. We may seek help also, no problem. But surrender has to be to the Supreme Lord alone. And there also it doesn't mean I don't use my brains. People think surrender meaning, bus. Now I don't have to think anything. Whatever they say, I will just do. That is not surrender. Is Arjun using his brains or not? He is asking so many questions. Hanumanji used his brains or not? So it's not that surrender means, okay, I don't have any responsibility to think. Whatever that person says, I will just do. No. Gurudev has surrendered to Tapan Maharaj. Doesn't mean everything Tapan Maharaj said, blindly he obeyed. Tapan Maharaj said, don't go down. Those who want the knowledge will come up. But he heard that time and then he went back and then he came back after a few days and he said, the urge is irresistible. I feel I have to go down. Whole Chinmay mission is there because of that. So surrender, we have to be clear. What is surrender? Surrender is dropping my insistence. Surrender is dropping my ego. Surrender is letting go of my limited individuality, my prejudices, my fickleness, my impulsiveness, my restlessness, and holding on to the Supreme, holding on to Dharma. And of course, use the BMI. After surrender, do we stop eating? Do we stop breathing? Do we stop living? No. Body level, we do everything, no? Same way, intellectual level, just like body we use, buddhi also we have to use, mind also we have to use. That is surrender. But doing it for a higher cause. Doing it as an instrument of the divine. There is a lightness that surrender will bring. And how do I know it is surrender? Because the remembrance of Bhagwan will be there. Bhavana will be, I am doing this for Bhagwan. That is surrender. Consciously, I may or may not repeat all the time the mantra in my mind. If I am doing some work or I am engaged in something, then bhavana is, this is for the Lord. This is to please Bhagwan. This is as an instrument of the divine. This is for this noble purpose. That is surrender. And the moment we do that, the best in us will manifest. How much our ego can think and achieve is very less. But if that is put aside, infinite possibilities are there. And that all will happen. So, when he says here, Tvamaksharam Paramam Veditavyam, who is a real altar of surrender is Aksharam only. So, Param comes in both. Tvamaksharam Paramam Veditavyam and Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam. Supreme refuge. That refuge which will never fail us is supreme refuge. Every other person or entity can fail us at some point or the other, or may not do as much as we may want, or may not even do sometimes something because they have their own limitations. Again, I'm saying nothing wrong in asking anybody, approaching anybody, but our anchoring has to be in Bhagwan, bas. Otherwise, we don't have that anchoring. Then that's why we get disillusion from the world. ये संसार तो ऐसा ही है, कौन हमारा है, nothing, and depression and dejection and suicide and alcohol and drugs and whatnot happens to us. Why all that happens? Because inside the anchoring and surrender is not there. If there is Bhagwan everywhere, Bhagwan knows now this Vishwarupa means all that. The omnipresence of the Lord Arjun is able to see. Omnipotence of the Lord Arjun is able to see. Omniscience of the Lord Arjun is able to see clearly. Natural result of that will be what? Surrender. Because Bhagwan is most powerful. Bhagwan is most knowledgeable. Everything he knows. Before I start praying also, Bhagwan knows what is in my heart. So people say, भगवान को तो सब पता है तो मुझे बोलने की क्या जरूरत है? हाँ, बोलने की जरूरत है. We need to tell. Why? Because my mind has to tune to the Lord. The Lord is already tuned to me. He knows what is in my head. I don't know what is Bhagwan's nature. So when I pray to Bhagwan, I am connecting to Bhagwan. It's not that Bhagwan ko batana padega, then Bhagwan will fulfill my desire. Arey, he is antaryami. He knows everything. But we have to connect for us to know the Lord. And as much as we think about Bhagwan, that much our ego will be put aside. We will realize our oneness. Then all the insistence, resistance, all that will also just go. No desire also will be there, because when I know the Lord, what else I need? I don't need anything. So the more I think of Bhagwan, the more I think of his nature, his glory, slowly, 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 the desires will also just drop. Only desire will be, Bhagwan, I want to see you, I want to worship you, I want to be one with you, bas. For that we tell Bhagwan. Otherwise, Vishwarupa, you see, natural surrender happens. Arjun is surrendering, where he recognizes you are the supreme abode of, supreme refuge of everyone to surrender. Tamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam. Tamasya Tamavyaya Shashvata Dharma Gopta. You are imperishable, Shashvata. Sorry, you are Avyaya, changeless, and Shashvata Dharma Gopta. This is a very nice expression. You are the protector, Gopta, of the Shashvata Dharma, the eternal Dharma. This is our Sanatana Dharma. Bhagwan is a protector of Sanatana Dharma. That's why it is called Sanatan. Sanatan means eternal. Sanatan means that which will never perish, which was, is, and which will be. That is Sanatan, which reveals to us that which is Sanatan, which reveals to us what is eternal. Behind the imperishable, what is that which is behind the perishable? What is that which is imperishable? Behind the ephemeral, what is that which is eternal? That is Sanatan. That Sanatan Tattva is consciousness. That is infinity. That is our dharma. That dharma which leads us to that, which makes us realize that Jiva is Sanatan, Jagat is Sanatan, Ishvara is Sanatan. There is only one Sanatan Satya. All that which is there is appearance of only that. That knowledge is Sanatan. It may be written in Sanskrit language, decoded by some great masters, and written in the described in the Vedas, etc. Oldest, most beautiful civilization which speaks about oneness of everyone, which prays for the well-being of all the beings in all the lokas. Sarve loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. And even on this, in this world, sarve bhavantu sukhina. May everybody be happy. It doesn't say only those who are Hindus should be happy. Those who are Sanatani followers should be happy. For us, everybody is Sanatani. Because there is only one truth, one dharma, and we all are appearances of that, full stop. But human beings have created all kinds of confusion. Sanatan alag, Hindu alag, Hindutva alag, what chaotic things, because they don't understand. Hindutva means the essential quality of being a Hindu. Now somebody wants to twist it and think about it as some political ideology. Array, that is nothing to do with this. Sanatana is only Hindu, that only is Hindutva. There is no difference between Sanatana and Hindutva. But today we are creating all these kind of differences. Sanatan means those Eastern traditions. Other Abrahamic faiths are not Sanatan. So now, at a certain level, if that is required for a certain protection, etc., there's a different point. But otherwise, Sanatana Dharma means what? That which will lead us to the Sanatan. And what all is Sanatan? You think about it. Universal values, they are Sanatana or not? They are eternal. Satyam, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, three basic fundamental values in Sanatana Dharma. All other values will come under these three. I call it as sub. SAB, Satyam, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya. Sub values का सार ये सब है बस. Is that Sanatana or not? In that only love and compassion and forgiveness and kindness and truthfulness, honesty and fearlessness, all those values will come. Which whether you are an Indian or a non-Indian or American or Hindu, Muslim, Christian, whoever one is, values are the foundation for good relationships and work and everything and harmonious society. That is Sanatan. Over a period of time, people's abidance in that reduces because of their attachment to senses, pleasures, enjoyment, all that. That is their problem. That is not an issue of the values. Values are Sanatan. The Guru Shishya Parampara is Sanatan. The truth that the Vedas reveal, the Vedas are Sanatan. Vedas are not books. The truth about Sanatan is revealed in the Vedas. That Veda is Sanatan. The supreme truth is Sanatan. Jiva is Sanatan. Ishvara is Sanatan. Jagat is Sanatan. What is not Sanatan? All this is appearance of Sanatan, and that dharma which reveals all this to us, which makes us live a value-based life, which makes us see the oneness, which makes us realize the truth that every single thing, akhanda mandalakaram vyaptam yena characharam, moving, non-moving, everything is one. Akhanda is not khanda. We see khanda. Sanatana is that which makes us see akhanda, which makes us see unbroken consciousness alone is. Even behind all these forms, moving, non-moving, is one truth. Tat padam darshitam yena. That one who has given me the vision of that state. Salutations to that Guru. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So Guru is also Sanatan. Jnana also is Sanatan. Our nature is Sanatan. Srishti is Sanatan. What a beautiful dharma it is. And who is a protector of this? Shashvata Dharma Gopta is Bhagwan himself. And that is why Bhagwan's avatar also happens for this Dharma Samsthapanarthaya. He doesn't come for establishing one particular type of religion. He comes to establish the eternal way of life, the way of Dharma, the way of Brahman, the way of surrender, the way of realizing and living in harmony with this whole creation. That eternal way of life, he is the protector of that. And whenever that declines, people become more selfish, etc., he comes down. So he is Shashvata Dharma Gopta. And before he comes down, he may send so many different people, saints and sages and various seekers and bhaktas and all of them. Through them also he does Dharma Samsthapana. So many ways in which he does. So he is the Dharma Gopta. Who is the real protector of Dharma? If somebody thinks I am the custodian of this Dharma and till I am there, till my organization is there, I will protect and I will fight it out. So it is good, one feels a cause and one wants to protect if there is an external threat. But deep down one should know Bhagwan is the Sanatana Dharma protector. Shashvata Dharma Gopta is Bhagwan. That should be my strength. Then for that, if I am an instrument of the Lord and I have to protect Dharma, I have to fight, I will fight. If that is my Swadharma. Like Arjun is also an instrument. Bhagwan will tell him in the 11th chapter only, he will tell him that you are an instrument, Arjun. Don't think that without you this will not happen. The war will anyway happen because I have already killed them. Maya eva nihata purvam eva. And why he says I have already killed them? Because it's their karma. He is a karma phala data. Bhagwan is karma phala data. So we have to do our duty. This is not to say that those who are protecting and defending the culture, they should stop. But sometimes one becomes fanatic and one hurts the cause more than protecting it. That one should avoid. How will one avoid that? By becoming clear that Bhagwan is actually Shashvata Dharma Gupta. I am a servant of that Lord, and as a servant of that Lord, whatever has to be done to protect it, I will protect. It doesn't happen only by fighting. That has happens in thousands of ways. Where it has to be fought out, it has to be fought out also. Our culture has to have both. I mean, we should have clarity about both these aspects. Otherwise, we think that only fighting, and we have divorced ourselves from studying and what the scripture is saying and what is the Shastra saying and what are the values given there and how did our Bhagwan live. Bhul gaya. Fully on track of some fight. And then the other extreme also. only studying, and forgot the Kshatriya spirit and allowed everybody to come and dominate and uh, take us for a ride. Each Varna has to do what they have to do as per their temperament, and we should know how this culture will thrive and survive and survive and thrive, how to come together, breaking all the other smaller um groupism, casteism, or sectarianism. Bhagwan says Shashvata Dharma Gopta. We are followers of the Shashvata Dharma. We may follow Vaishnava Sampradaya, Shaiva Sampradaya, whatever that may be, but that is a part of Shashvata Dharma. What is my identity? I am a Sanatan Dharma follower. I am a Hindu. Sanatan Hindu Dharma, Vedic Dharma. I am a follower of that. Whichever path I may be in, that Tantra Marg, Karma Yoga Marg, Upasana Marg, Nath Sampradaya, how many hundreds of Sampradayas are there? All of them are under Shashvata Dharma. They are under Sanatana Dharma. Our identity, that has to be clear. Then only this Dharma will get protected. And also doesn't mean that, Arey, Bhagwan is Shashvat Dharma Gupta, so I have to do nothing. Let anybody come and do, which is what the tamas of the people sometimes is. It is selfishness sometimes, where one says that कुछ नहीं हो सकता, सनातन तो सनातन है, उसको कोई मिटा ही नहीं सकता, which is true because Bhagwan is the Shashvat Dharma Gupta. Nobody will be able to eradicate it. But what is my kartavya I have to do? No. If I hide behind that pretext and not do my duty, then that way of life will get destroyed completely. Bhagwan has to find some other way by which this will propagate again. So that he will do his duty. But what happens in the creation then? As per individual's dharma, one has not done. That's how we have lost so much of our land, and we have shrunk from what we were to what all small one has become. And so one has to keep that big picture in mind. Bhagwan is Shashvata Dharma Gupta, no doubt. What is my duty? If my temperament is a Brahmana temperament, then through Brahmana temperament, I will protect the Sanatan Dharma. Study, teach, share, live the higher values, make it easily available for people, make them live this in a fantastic way where they appreciate it, make it palatable, understandable, enjoyable, and they can live it. If I am of a Kshatriya temperament, then how can I protect this? Anchoring in this clarity. Arjuna is a Kshatriya but anchored in spiritual knowledge. Please remember. It's not that divide our spiritual knowledge and then go and just fight. No. Bhagwan himself is giving this knowledge. One Kshatriya is giving this knowledge to another Kshatriya. To protect Dharma also this knowledge is required. If you put aside this and then go and fight, then one will become just like the invader or the opponent. Useless that is. If I'm a Vaishya, then as a entrepreneur, as a farmer, as whatever is my capability, what should I do? How to generate resources for the community? Protect it through wealth creation, through resources, through it can apply to not only community, for country, for the whole world, but through my temperament, doing business in an ethical way, in a way in which I don't cheat and manipulate, in a dharmic way. Same way, if I'm a Shudra, how will I serve my community? How will I serve this dharma? Through my work, through my profession. Each one according to their temperament can serve this beautiful culture. He says, Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam, Tvamakshara Paramam Veditavyam, Tamavyaya Shashvata Dharma Gupta. Bhagwan is a protector of this Shashvata Dharma. We should actually be proud that I am a follower of this Shashvata Dharma, where we see oneness in everything, from inert thing onwards to the infinite. Everything is divine for us. We don't see only anyone as undivine. Even Rakshasas, when Bhagwan kills them, he gives them mukti only. As per their karma, whatever fellow has to be given, he gives, but he doesn't discriminate. He sees everyone as divine. That's what he teaches us also. There is no dvesha or hatred towards anybody. How can somebody feel that to say that I am a proud Sanatani or a proud Hindu is sectarian? Look at the values of Sanatan Dharma. So beautiful they are. We see oneness. So one should be proud. And proud doesn't mean that go and insult somebody or put down somebody. No, I am proud of what my Sanatan Dharma is and I happily live it. And I have that pride, I will live. If I look down upon my culture, I don't want to live. I shrug off my shoulder, whatever. Because I don't have pride, I don't have knowledge, because I don't have clarity. And then ulta happens. So when he says here, Tvamavyaya Shashvata Dharma Gopta Sanatanastvam, see the next line. You are only Sanatan. So when we say I am follower of Sanatan means what? I am a follower of Bhagavan. What is wrong in that? I am proud of Sanatan means what? I am proud of my Lord, my Ishta, such a great infinite Lord consciousness appearing as this whole Srishti. Sanatanastvam, you are eternal, meaning you are not bound by anything which is perishable. You are infinite. Sanatanastvam, beyond time, space, object. Sanatanastvam, Purusho Matome. You are the Purusha, you are the essence. Everything else is perishable Prakriti. In that Purusha, Purusha here is not man, Purusha here is consciousness. Eternal consciousness you are. Eternal you are, consciousness you are. Both mean the same actually. Consciousness is eternal. Eternity is consciousness. Sanatanastvam Purusho. And what does he say? Matome. This is my opinion. Very clever, huh, Arjun is. Because Arjun may say, Arjun knows that, this people in Kali Yuga may blame him, saying, how dare you say you Sanatan you are. No, this is my opinion. You want to accept, you accept. Don't want to accept, don't accept. My opinion is Sanatanastvam Purusho Matome. You are the eternal refuge of the whole world. You are eternal. You are imperishable. You are the supreme goal which is to be known. Such a beautiful mantra, shloka this is. One can meditate on this and pray to Bhagavan that please, may I realize you who is the supreme goal of life. May I live the Sanatan Dharma and protect it. May I be proud of my Dharma. May I live this glorious values. May I take your refuge. You are the only true abode and a refuge for the whole world. Such a nice shloka. But today we will stop here. Thank all our Yajmans. So the Mukhya Yajmans for all the sessions, Parag Wagh, Kalpana Morparia ji, Hemant Kumar ji, Bharat Khanna ji, Achyutan Nair ji, Nandita Parekh ji, Yajmans for the Gita Arti for all the sessions, Vipul ji, Nalini ji, Surbhi ji, Rajan ji, Sapna ji, Dipti ji, Jolly ji, Ajay ji, Kirit ji, Garima ji, Jayashri ji, Jyotsna ji, Hem ji, Vijaya ji, Vinu ji, Tarana ji, Mukta ji, and Majnu ji. Today's Dainik Yajman, Shweta Shah, Geeta Balsara ji, Harsha Desai ji. And today's Aarti Yajmans, Ganesh Chandrasekharan ji, Nirupa Srinivasan ji, Shanu Malkani ji. So we invoke God's grace, Gurudev's blessings on them, their family, and everyone present here. May Bhagavan bless us that we recognize him as truly the goal of life. May we come to know him through complete surrender. May we realize him as the protector of Sanatana Dharma. May we live our Sanatana Dharma uncompromisingly and come to realize that which is Sanatan as our true nature. Om Tat Sat. Jai Shri Krishna.
ओम जय भगवती के ओम जय भगवती के मैया जय भगवती के हरिया कमल विहारिणी सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवती के कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशिनी कामासक्ति हरा तत्त्वज्ञान विकाशिनी विद्या ब्रह्म परा ओम जय भगवती ते निश्चल भक्ति विधायिनी निर्मल मलहारिणी शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी सब विधि सुखकारी ओम जय भगवती ते राग द्वेष विदारिणी कारिणी मोद सदा भव भय हारिणी तारिणी परमानंद प्रदा ओम जय भगवती के आसुर भाव विनाशिनी नाशिनी तमरजनी दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी हरिरसिका सजनी ओम जय भगवती के समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की बानी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी ओम जय भगवती के दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय हरि पर प्रेम दान कर अपनों कर ली जय ओम जय भगवती के ओम जय भगवती के मैया जय भगवती के हरिया कमल विहारिणी सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवती के ओम जय भगवती के ओम जय भगवती के बोलिए गीता मैया की जय।
बोलिए श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। ओके, यस जॉली जी।
Hariom Swami ji.
हरिओम।
First of all, I must thank you for your extended and expansive explanation on Sanatan Dharma. I really appreciate, because I used to get so confused with Hindutva, Sanatan, and there used to be really so many answers and explanation. I'm really, really very happy with your very good explanation. Thank you very much for that. Secondly, I'll go a little off the this Bhagavad Gita. You love cricket, doctor. I mean, sorry. You love cricket, Swamiji. The same catch for which we won the World this T20, same catch was taken by a girl, Harleen Diol, in the ladies' year match. This is what I wanted to tell you also.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram. Beautiful.
Yes, beautiful. And thirdly, again, come back to Gita. You said that if we put our full belief in Bhagavan, so he will give us a phalashruta. Okay, I mean he will give us our
Karma.
whatever phalashruta, whatever. But then when we talk of this phalashruta, what we are asking for and what the phalashruta is, they may not sort of match with one another. Then what will be the outcome?
See, the word Falashruta, what you are using is the result of a certain chanting or a mantra or a stuti, right? That is called Falashruti.
Yeah.
Where a certain result is given. Suppose they say that Panchaksharamidam Punyam ya patet Shiva Sannidhav Shiva Lokamavapnoti Shivena Sahamodati. Now that is the Falashruti of that Panchakshara mantra. Now, are you meaning that particular Falashruti and
No,
what
actually,
decided?
suppose I'm praying to God, please
Ah,
solve this problem for me, like this. Huh?
right.
So that and this Falashruti, like Prarabdha jo bolte hai, what is known as Prarabdha, what we will get is our Prarabdha. What we are asking for may not match. This is where I'm getting the confusion. I want to just, draw the line of demarcation between these two.
See, this is always going to happen. Now, what we have presently the desire and what is already destined for me as my prarabdha may not necessarily match. Now, it is not that Bhagwan will ensure that I get exactly what I want right now. Bhagwan is karma phaladata, and that is why, as per my prarabdha, what has to come will come as per my purushartha also. So, Bhagwan has to combine both and give. That's why he is the Ishvara who is the karma phaladata.
Yes.
So prarabdha is not a fixed thing, no, always. There is manda prarabdha, madhyam prarabdha, tivra prarabdha, like that, So certain things can be changed by my purushartha now. Certain things can be changed which require more purushartha. If I do that, it will change. Certain
Okay.
things can't be changed. That is tivra prarabdha. I have to go through it.
Face it. Yeah.
Yeah, so as a part of my prayer, if I am praying to Bhagwan and then I am getting that certain peace of mind, certain strength, etc., and I'm able to do my Purusharth well now, depending on what my Prarabdha is, my Purushartha is, if that has to materialize, I will get it.
Okay.
If it is not, then what I have to think as a Bhakta, what do I think? That I have done my best. Whatever is Ishwar Ichha, this is Prasad, I accept.
It is very difficult sometimes.
No, agreed, I agreed. And what is my Purushartha that I have to still put forth to get what I want? Let me focus on that because that alone is in my hand.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to do. Accept the prasad, do my best, accept the prasad, and find out what more I can do and do it if it has not come. If it has come, gratitude, thank Bhagwan. So that's how I can live because I don't know what is my prarabdha. And I don't know what is going to happen, whether I will get that result or not. And which is what surrender means. Surrender means that I drop my insistence and focus on my duty. So it is difficult, no doubt, but that's what it is. Surrender is that. All right. Thank you. Karan.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Thank you for today's talk, Swamiji. It was very illuminating. I have two questions. They are not connected with each other. Would you like me to ask them together or
One by one.
one by one? Okay. The first question was about Sanatan Dharma, Swamiji. Thank you for clarifying many ideas about it. So I just wanted to ask, of course, you mentioned it, but I wanted to again clarify it, that, there is one definition of Hindu which has come about in the past as relating to people who live within a geographical area. So from the Himalayas to the Kanyakumari, and anybody who lives within this area is termed as a Hindu. And that could be a person of any faith. And then somehow Sanatan Dharma is sort of also gotten connected with this concept. Of, I could be wrong in my understanding. But firstly, with this definition of Hindu, is it firstly a correct understanding or an improper understanding? And if it's either of them, where did this come from?
So some places, yes, people say this, making it, like you said, a geographical identity. But if you go by our scriptures, when we say Sanatan, it is the eternal dharma, one. Two, every other religion is having a birth date. What was before these religions? That is Sanatan. And there is no geographical boundary that will limit that. yes, there's a particular boundary when we say Bharat, and because this land has dedicated, the people have dedicated a lot of time, effort, energy, resources, and discovered such great truths. And then the knowledge of the Vedas and the Vedic way of life, and that has been shared with many people. And this knowledge has gone across to so many other places in the world also. Today's geographical boundaries are very different from what it was a few 100,000 years ago or million years ago. So when we understand march of civilizations, then at a certain standpoint, at a certain point in time, when many other religions were not even there, so we say that there was only one truth. I mean, there's only one, and not that everybody was following only that. Yes, people are at different levels of evolution, but at a certain point in time, people from here have studied, learned, discovered, gone to other places, shared it also. Ramayana is having description of Sugriv sending people far away to the Arctic also, Antarctic also in search of Sita ji. Now, where was any other religion at that point in time? It is not there. Even if you don't date Ramayana to Treta Yuga, as per our Hindu calendar of our Hindu way of measuring the yugas, 432 is Kali Yuga, 864 is Dwapara, 1296 is Treta, 1728 is that, the Satyuga. Even if you don't go by that, suppose you say Ramayana is 26,000 years ago. Even 26,000 years ago, where was a certain, where were so many of the religions? Some of the Eastern religions, they may say Buddhism, Jainism, they have a certain eternal tradition. But the values are same. That's why I said the definition of Sanatan. So to limit a Hindu to only a particular place in a certain context is only correct. Is only contextual. That's what I mean. Where we say that in Bharat, a lot of effort has happened. So anybody who is here can be called a Hindu, not necessarily somebody who is only ascribing to this particular way of thinking. But whoever is here is a Sanatani follower. And then the Hindu word comes later on. Then certain other things have come into picture where one says that you should consider this land as your Matrabhumi, Punya Bhumi, all that. But the scriptures are very clear in that this is the land where Bhagavatam, etc., they say, Jambudvipe, Bharatavarshe, Bharatakhande, Bharatavarshe, all that. So Bharat land is very, very sacred. Even Devtas want to take birth here. So from that context, we say that yes, this is the source of Sanatan in that way, because lots of research has happened. Rishis have lived this life and shared it. So we are descendants of the Rishis. So we say this land where all the Rishis were there and we are living here, descendants of this land are called Hindu. Now people from other places, etc., have also come here. And our philosophy doesn't consider anybody as, who is following any other ideology as somebody who is to be rejected and destroyed or converted, etc. We say everybody can come, we all are one, we don't have a problem. And they follow their religion. Now, there's no question of imposing our ideology on them. But at a specific point in time when there was only this, and there the definition comes, people who are from this land, from this boundary to this boundary, this boundary to this boundary, left, right, whatever, top, down, north, south, east, west. Now this land is Hindu. Whoever here is Hindu. Politically, if you go to see, those who came from out, they converted our people and then they, of course, produce some more. Now they follow whatever they want to follow. We are not imposing anything on them. No? So that definition holds in a certain time, in a certain context, is my understanding. It does not necessarily hold every time, everywhere, and one doesn't have to be fanatical about it because the scriptures of ours are very adaptable. They keep changing as per the changing time. That's why we have Vedas and we have Smriti. Smritis are that which is changing by time as per the needs of the society. The same Shashvata Dharma of the Veda is adapted to the present times. So we are adaptable culture. We are not a rigid fanatical culture that way. So our understanding of Sanatan and Hindu should change accordingly, not limit it only to this. And where if it becomes misunderstanding that, okay, by saying that everybody who is living here is only a Hindu, then people will get confusion. Then they think that you are as fanatic as somebody else is. Then that is what is the point? We're defeating the whole purpose only, right?
Right. So basically what you're saying is it is context and time bound even that understanding is context and time bound, and in the modern India, it may not necessarily be applicable.
Yeah, geographical is what
Geographical context, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The second question, Swamiji, is a little bit more lighthearted, but it's like, you told us that, the Vishwarupa Bhagwan is there every day in our lives, and we just need to observe it more with wonder, And I find this very easy when I'm in nature, when I'm in front of a mountain or in front of a water body or anything, I am mesmerized actually by it. But then, we live in a city like Mumbai, which is so concretized, and there is one of the noisiest cities in the world. And there's basically you just see creations of human beings more than, I'm not saying it eclipses Bhagwan's creations, but it's sort of, it sort of for some time conceals things, There are birds here, but they cannot be heard. There are trees, but they're not at eye level. So how do we inspire ourselves every day? If you can give us any tips of, within this chaos of our city, to be able to try to connect with the divine, in a visual sense, or, in a sensory sense, actually.
Yeah, visual sense. So, see, even that concrete, etc. What does Bhagwan say in the Gita? Buddhi buddhimatam asmi tejas tejasvi namaham, right? This concrete, etc. also it is there, and the buildings which are there, we may say human being, but human intelligence came from where? Came from Bhagwan, point one. Point two, the material with which that is made, concrete, we think is a concrete, and what is this? This is not nature. Concrete also is a part of nature. One. Created using natural elements. Maybe human mind has created that cement and concrete, all that so chemically, but it is still created using nature. One. Natural things only, no? Three, the intelligence behind it is what is to be worshipped also as the expression of the divine. In nature, we say, okay, sunrise and waterfall and mountain and river and all that, and we see, wow, so amazing, pleasing to the senses. Because that's we have conditioned ourselves in a certain way. There are people who love, they will say, our skyline should be like this, and buildings and this and that, and they feel that is the beauty. They love concrete, they love concrete. We love nature, we love nature. So it also depends on each one's liking. Agreed that nature has much more different qualities and much more connection we are able to build in some ways to it, because that is nature, Prakriti by itself, and it is lively, and this looks dead, concrete and whatever that is. But we have to see as a part of nature, as a part of Bhagwan's Prakriti it has also changed now, the way people used to live earlier to today, how people live. So again, evolution can be appreciated. And from Vedantic standpoint, of course, Sat is what we experience. So that is, Sat is everywhere. Existence is everywhere. But like you said, sensory standpoint, I have to see how many people's dreams it fulfills, how many people's emotions it satisfies. Somebody has been working hard to get a particular house in a particular complex. What will the mind of that person feel when they get it? They feel so happy, they feel so thrilled. So sensorily, that is something that I can visualize more about the impact of that on the minds and the lives of people. Then, like how we see a sunrise. So it's not that the light of the sun by itself, it has its power, no doubt. But I am thinking of so many other things associated with that light. That, okay, sunlight, so vitamin D, how it helps in health, how it makes my mind fresh, how it is such a fascinating thing to be in the sunlight, how it makes the metabolism function. So what am I seeing? I am seeing the impact of nature on me and experiencing that beauty of it and internalizing it. Same thing I have to do with other things also. Sensorily, if I see size, shape, what the impact of it is, I can experience in different ways, through senses also, through texture, through color, through form.
What about pollution?
So that is the side effect that we are creating. So when we appreciate something, it does not mean that we are approving that it is right. Now, even in nature, you can see that happening. The tiger will kill It's not that, so tiger will kill because that's the nature of that tiger, right? It's not that we take that yes, killing is justified. No, that only tiger will do. Others can't do that. Same way, there's a certain pollution that is happening. So where we are able to create a certain thing without pollution, those alternatives we should find out, no doubt in that. Just because I appreciate something doesn't mean that I go ahead and say that whatever it is right. No, improvements can always be done. How people used to live earlier in certain uh, settlements and hutments and all that, if those can be integrated in more natural, in a more holistic way where this environmental pollution etc can be reduced, that we should definitely look at and work towards that. But a Vedantic vision is what in this context, that I appreciate nature also as nature. I appreciate concrete also as whatever I can appreciate from it. That's the goodness that I can see in both, and improvements in whichever I need to do, I can do in both.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hariom.
Yes.
Hari Om Swamiji, am I audible?
Yeah.
Swamiji, today wonderful talk, and I really enjoyed the part on surrender and all the explanation you gave. I have a question to ask you. When I meditate, you had taught me, to where I felt I was different and I'm praying to God. You said you must always say, I am yours. So that's something that I do reflect on in my meditation on a daily basis. I also, when I pray, one of the things I always say that, I'm not karta or bhukta, nimit matra bhava. I also reflect on verse 32 every day where he says, Rite pitvam, where, without you also. So these are things I, do reflect on a daily basis. What has happened is, of course, it has helped me reduce desires, reduce a lot of vasanas. All that has come down significantly to what they were, 5-6 years back. But I still find from time to time, I tend to get worked up. Situations tend to overpower me. I still have, sometimes resentment, anger. It seems to just manifest that time, all this reflection, which I would have had, a nice quiet morning, or in the evening when I come back again, I reflect on all this. It's just forgotten, somewhere. So I feel somewhere something is not anchoring properly inside me, where, in these moments, I'm forgetting and essentially not able to somewhere, be a lot more equanimous or little more balanced. So is there something that I can reflect or do something more?
See, 2 points to understand is one, attachment is the cause of any agitation or sorrow. I may be able to surrender in my sattvic state and say that, yes, I am yours and I am a nimitta and, I accept whatever you do as prasad, etc. But not all the time the mind is in a sattvic state. So when it comes in a rajasic state, in the sense of, when I say rajas, it doesn't mean only dynamism, activity. It also means one of the main qualities of rajoguna is attachment. So when I get disturbed, at that time, suppose this knowledge is not coming to my aid, I should at least quieten the mind through some other methods in terms of whether it is breathing or whether it is mantra japa or whatever it is, so that at least the mind has, agitation becomes lesser. Then I have to sit exclusively and sit and think that what is my attachment which made my mind so disturbed? Because I'm holding on to something which I'm insisting, which is not happening, so I'm getting disturbed. So how deep is that attachment? That much will be the agitation. And how do I get out of that attachment? That is the homework I have to do. Because sattvic state mein one is, that's a very nice thing and that will help the mind, no doubt. But the other part is the cleansing has to happen through this. What is my insistence? What am I so insistent that this has to happen like this or in this way, or this situation should be like this or this person should be like this? Now, That is the cause of disturbance. Now that I have to unwind. Find out what is that and undo, not unwind, sorry, undo that attachment by learning to accept. If I can do something about it, let me try. If I can't, accept it and drop the insistence from the mind. So if I have done that homework, next time that situation comes, I have told myself, here, this is my attachment. This particular thing, this particular situation, this particular person, this particular behavior provokes this attachment in me, and then I get disturbed. Now I know very clearly this is my attachment, so I won't blame people out there. I will first let go of the attachment in my head. So then automatically you will see certain change in that behavior that will happen. So that extra work we have to do. Arjun also is attached or not. He learns from Bhagwan so many things, but then he gets attached. Then cause of downfall. So he has to get detached. That's the only solution there.
For me, sometimes it can be a situation. It's like, it's because of maybe some parental pressure or something. It's like at a particular time, you have to do something you don't want to do. You're this thing, and their insistence, and that sometimes it just manifests where you that really get angry, and you scream back, and it's taking a toll on my health then after that.
So that's where it is. As long as there's nothing adharmic about it, everyone has to do it. But use that as an opportunity to overcome likes and dislikes, and do it as a offering to Bhagwan, saying, I'm doing this for Bhagwan, and I'm doing this as my seva to my parents or whatever that is. Then mind will be, even if I don't like it, I have to do. Arjun doesn't like to kill Bhishma, but he has to kill, no?
True.
But that's the knowledge is this. I said 2 points. So 1 point I finished. Second point was, even the most spiritual person will at some point get disturbed. There's nothing wrong in getting disturbed, but the cause of my disturbance should not be my attachment. That I can work on. The cause of disturbance can be some other things which are maybe something which is unrighteous, which is not appropriate, or there I take a stand, etc. And there I have to fight. It's not that Krishna Bhagavan never got angry. He also got upset. He also got angry on certain things, because if there's a wrong thing happening, then and he has to take the appropriate action there. So if anger is a requirement there, it is a requirement. So the expectation must be clear. It can't be that I will never be angry or agitated. It may happen, but what is the cause? That is important.
Okay, I got it. Hari Om. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om.